poetry out loud. I really appreciate you guys and teachers taking your first hour and coming down here. Since September, we have had a number of our students in the building actively working on performing and doing oral interpretation of poetry. Today we have our school competition, and you are seeing hours and hours of effort of our students. I do ask over the next hour that you're respectful. Please don't be on your cell phone. When a presenter speaks, please appropriately applaud as they enter and be courteous to all presenters. Keep in mind the challenges and how difficult it is to be up here. Over the next hour, you will see some amazing performances. And we are going to get started right away with Luna Schoen.
Once the world was perfect. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
There you go. Okay.
Once the World Was Perfect by Joy Harjo. Once the world was perfect, and we were happy in that world. Then we took it for granted. Discontent began a small rumble in the earthly mind. Then doubt pushed through with its spiked head, and once doubt ruptured the web, all manner of demon thoughts jumped through. We destroyed the world we had been given for inspiration, for life. Each stone of jealousy, each stone of fear, greed, envy, and hatred put out the light. No one was without a stone in his or her hand. There we were, right back where we had started. We were bumping into each other in the dark. And now, we had no place to live since we didn't know how to live with each other. Then, one of the snuggly ones took pity on another and shared a blanket. A spark of kindness made a light. The light made an opening in the darkness. Everyone worked together to make a ladder. A Wind Clan person climbed out first into the next world. And then the other clans, the children of those clans, their children and their children, all the way through time. To now, into this morning light, to you.
Distinguished judges. We have Mrs. Kathy Pepley as our tabulator. We have Mrs. Mandy Elbert as one of our judges. We have Mrs. Brandy Carey. We have Mrs. Jeannie Peabody. We have Mrs. Roxanne Petrovich. And returning, we have Mrs. Jenny Stanford. Thank you so much, judges. Next is Alyssa Kessler.
My Grandmother's Love Letters by Hart Crane. There are no stars tonight, but those of a memory. Yet how much room for memory there is in the loose girdle of soft rain. There is even room enough for the letters of my mother's mother, Elizabeth, that have been pressed so long into a corner of the room that they became liable to melt as snow. Over greatness of such space, steps must be gentle. It is all hung by an invisible white hair. It trembles as bird limbs webbing the air. And I ask to myself, are your fingers long enough to play the keys that are but echoes? Is silence strong enough to carry the music from its source and back to you as though it did to her? And so, I asked myself, yet I would lead my grandmother by the hand through much of what she would not understand. And so, I stumble. and the gentle rain continues with such a sound of pitying laughter.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Next is Nada Boutros.
Fairy Tale Logic by A.E. Stallings. Fairy tales are full of impossible tasks. Gather the chin hairs of a man-eating goat, or cross sulfuric lake in a leaky boat. Select the prince from a row of identical masks, tiptoe up to a dragon where it basks and snatch its bone. Count dust specks, mote by mote, or learn the phone directory by rote. Always, it's impossible what someone asks. You have to fight magic with magic. You have to believe that you have something impossible up your sleeve. The language of snakes, perhaps an invisible cloak, an army of ants at your beck, or a lethal joke. The will to do whatever must be done. Marry a monster. Hand over your firstborn son.
Phenomenal job, Nada. Austin Bradley.
If Mama Could See by Lucille Clifton. If Mama could see, she would see Lucy sprawling, limbs of Lucy decorating the backs of chairs, Lucy hair holding the mirrors up that reflect odd aspects of Lucy. If Mama could hear, she would hear Lucy's song rolled in the corners like lint, exotic webs of Lucy size, long Lucy spiders explaining to obscure gods. If Mama could talk, she would talk, good girl, good girl, good girl. Clean up your room.
Thank you, Austin. Brandon Clyburn.
Father, by Edgar Albert Guest. My father knows the proper way the nation should be run. He tells us children every day just what should now be done. He knows the way to fix the trust. He has a simple plan. But if the furnace is repairs, we have to hire a man. My father, in a day or two, can land big thieves in jail. There's nothing that he cannot do. He knows no word like fail. Our confidence he would restore. that there is no doubt. But there's a chair to mend. We have to send it out. All public questions that arise, he settles on the spot. He waits not till the tumult dies, but grabs it while it's hot. In matters of finance, he can tell Congress what to do. But oh, he finds it hard to meet his bills as they fall due. It almost makes him sick to read the things lawmakers say. Why, Father's just the man they need. He never goes astray. All wars he'd very quickly end, as fast as I can write it. But when a neighbor starts a fuss, 'tis mother has to fight it. In conversation, Father can do many wondrous things. He's built upon a wiser plan than presidents or kings. He knows the ins and outs of each and every deep transaction. We look to him for theories, but look to Ma for action.
Fantastic job, Brandon. Thank you. Next, we have Shanti Harvest.
Like by A.E. Stallings with a nod to Jonah Winter. Now we're all friends. There is no love, but like. A semi-demi-goddess, something like a reality TV star look-alike named Simile or Me Too. So we like in order to be liked. It isn't like there's love or hate now. Even plain dislike is frowned on. There's no button for it. Like is something you can quantify. Each like you gather is almost something money-like. Token of virtual support. Please like this page to stamp out hunger. And you'd like to end hunger and climate change alike, but it's unlikely. Like does diddly. Like just twiddles its unopposing thumbs. Likewise props up scarecrow silences. I'm like so over him, I overhear, but like he doesn't get it. Like, you know? He's like it's all okay. Like I don't even like him anymore. Whatever. I'm all like, take like out of our chat, we'd all alike flounder, agape gesticulating like a foreign film sans subtitles, fall like dumb phones to mooted destitute. Unlike with other crutches, when we use like, we're not just buying time on credit. Like displaces other words. Crowds cuckoo like endangered hatchlings from the nest. Click like if you're against extinction. Like is like invasive zebra mussels, or like those nutria things, or like kudzu, or but like redundant fast food franchises, each like more like the next. Those poets who dislike inversions, archaisms, who just like plain English as she spoke. Why isn't like there literally every other word? I'd like us just to admit that's what real speech is like. But as you like, my friend, yes, we're like how we pronounce, say, lichen and dislike cancer and war. So like this page, click like.
Nice job, Shanti. Arthur Kareem.
Cartoon Physics, Part 1, by Nick Flynn. Children under, say, 10 shouldn't know that the universe is ever expanding, inexorably pushing into the vacuum. Galaxies swallowed by galaxies, whole solar systems collapsing, all of it acted out in silence. At 10, we are still learning the rules of cartoon animation. That if a man draws a door on a rock, only he can pass through it. Anyone else who tries will crash into the rock. 10-year-olds should stick with burning houses, car wrecks, ships going down earthbound, tangible disasters, arenas where they can be heroes. You can run back into a burning house. Sinking ships have lifeboats. The trucks will come with their ladders. If you jump, you will be saved. A child places her hand on the roof of a school bus and drives across the city of sand. She knows the exact spot it will skid, at which point the bridge will give, who will swim to safety, and who will be pulled under by sharks. She will learn that if a man runs off the edge of a cliff, he will not fall until he notices his mistake.
Very well done.
Hussein Kurahan.
Eagle poem by Joey Harjo. To pray, you open your whole self. The sky, to earth, the sun, to moon, to one whole voice that is you. And know that there is more that you can't see, can't hear, can't know, except in moments steadily growing. And in languages that aren't always sound but other circles of motion. Like eagle that Sunday morning over Saw River. Circled in blue sky and wind, swept our hearts clean with sacred wings. We see you, see ourselves, and know that we must stake the almost caring kindness of all things. Breathe in, knowing that we are made of all this, and breathe, knowing that we are blessed because we were born and die soon within a true circle of motion. Like eagle rounding out the morning inside us, we pray that it will be done in beauty, in beauty.
Body Tolia.
Eating Together by Lee Young Lee. In the steamer is the trout, seasoned with slivers of ginger, 2 sprigs of green onion and sesame oil. We shall eat it with rice for lunch, brother, sister, my mother, who will taste the sweetest meat of the head, holding it between her fingers, diffidently, the way my father did weeks ago. Then he lay down to sleep like a snow-covered road, winding through the pins, older than him, without any travelers, and lonely for no one.
Well done, Bonnie. Thank you. Skylar Krajewski.
We wear the mask by Paul Lawrence Dunbar. We wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile. With torn and bleeding hearts we smile, and mouths with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile, but oh great Christ, our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but oh, the clay is vile beneath our feet and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise, we wear the mask.
Samuel Livingston.
The Conqueror Worm, by Edgar Allan Poe. Lo, 'tis a gala night within the lonesome latter years, an angel throng, bewinged, bedight in veils and drowned in tears, sit in a theater to see a play of hopes and fears, while the orchestra breathes fitfully the music of the spheres. Mimes, the form of God on high, mutter and mumble low, and hither and thither fly, mere puppets they, who come go, at bidding of vast formless things that shift the scenery to and fro, flapping from out their condor wings invisible woe. That motley drama, oh, be sure it shall not be forgot, with its phantom chased forevermore by a crowd that sees it not, through a circle that ever returneth to the self-same spot, and much of madness, and more of sin, and horror the soul of the plot. But see, among the mimic rout, a crawling shape intrude, a blood-red thing that writhes from out the scenic solitude. It rides, with mortal pangs the mimes become its food, and seraphs sob at vermin fangs and human gore imbued. Out of the light, out all! And over each quivering form, the curtain of funeral comes down with the rush of a storm, and all the angels, all pallid and wan, uprising, upveiling, affirm that the play's the tragedy, man, and its hero, the conqueror worm.
Next, we have Kevin Perry.
Dead Men Walking, by William Logan. What did they desire, the dead who had returned? The sons that inherited their estates pretended not to know them. The iron gates were welded shut, but soon the dead had learned to hire lawyers, practiced in the laws that bound the afterlife to lesser gods. The angels thundered on like piston rods, denying their gold wings to either cause. The city street lamps flared like learned ghosts. The moon turned red. Beneath the scrim of clouds, Spanish moss graced the myrtle trees like shrouds. In politics, the guests became the hosts. Those days made angels of a better sort. The cases languished in a lower court.
Thank you, Kevin. Raphael Rayner.
Acquainted with the night are not frost. I have been one acquainted with the night. I have walked out in the rain and back in the rain. I have outwalked the furthest city line. I have looked down the saddest city lane. I have passed by the watchman on his feet and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. I have stood still and stopped the sound of feet. When far away an interrupted cry, come over our houses from another street. But not to call me back, or say goodbye. And further still, at an unreadly height, one luminary clock against the sky proclaimed that time is neither wrong nor right. I have been acquainted with the night.
Caitlin Trong.
Harold and the Purple Crayon by D. Gilson. Berkeley psychologists told Harold his anger was justified when parents let their child go for a midnight walk under no moon. It couldn't have been more than 4, Harold told the doctor in Chris Page office. Doctor, could it ever be okay for a 4-year-old to eat 9 different types of pie? Harold asked her. Call me Lisa, the doctor replied. Everyone knew Harold could draw. By sophomore year, he was critiquing the older grad students. By 20, he knew exactly when to quote Sontag, standing in front of professors, laying himself Mojave succulents. This just makes me think of how in place of hermeneutics, need and erotics art. Harold's professors would hum and nod their dragging heads, though none of them understood exactly what Harold said. In my senior year, Harold became distant. His work increasingly angry, apple trees with the fruit rotting in marble purple under a notable lack of the moon. Thank you.
Ashley Vinci.
From Blossoms by Lee Young Lee. From Blossoms comes this brown paper bag of peaches we bought from the boy. At the bend in the road where we turn towards signs, painted peaches. From laden bows, from hands, from sweet fellowship in the vins, comes nectar at the roadside. Succulent peaches we devour, dusty skin and all. Comes the familiar dust of summer, dust we eat. Oh, to take what we love inside, to carry within us an orchard, to eat not only the skin, but the shade. Not only the sugar, but the days. So hold the fruit in our hands, adore it, and bite into the round jubilance of peach. There are days we live as if death were nowhere in the background. From joy to joy to joy, from wing to wing, from blossom to impossible blossom, to sweet, impossible blossom.
The Glories of Our Blood and State by James Shirley. The glories of our blood and state are shadows, not substantial things. There is no armor against fate. Death lays his icy hand on kings. Scepter and crown must tumble down, and in the dust be equal made, with the poor, crooked, scythe, and spade. Some men with swords may reap the fields, and plant fresh laurels where they kill, but their strong nerves at last must yield. They tame, but one another still. Early or late, they stoop to fate, and must give up their murmuring breath, when they, pale captives, creep to death. The garlands wither on your brow, then boast no more your mighty deeds. Upon death's purple altar now, see where the victor victim bleeds. Your heads must come to the cold tomb. Only the actions of the just smell sweet and blossom in their dust.
Thank you, Robin. We just need one moment to tabulate our scores. We will announce first, second, and third place. First, we will announce third place. Our third place winner is Ashley Vinci. Our second place, and our second place is an important role because if our first place winner cannot fulfill his or her duties at the state level, the first runner-up will go to the states. Our first runner-up, so second place, is Dalvin Worth. Congratulations, Dalvin. And the winner of Poetry Out Loud in a trip to the state competition in Lansing is Shanti Harper. Thank you guys for an amazing competition. If you're not a senior, I beg you to please come back next year. You guys did a fantastic job. Thank you guys for being a wonderful, courteous, respectful audience. We do have a little bit of time left at first hour, depending on what your teacher wants to do.